How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Gunner's Corner with your boy CJ and another post-game player ratings after Wolves 2, Arsenal 2. Um, Now, as I've alluded to before, I think I said this yesterday or the previous recording I did for the match preview that I am a little bit under the weather at the moment. But that game obviously did nothing to help my mood or my condition. So, uh, healthy or sick, this was always going to be a quick player ratings, very sharp, small and sharp, short and sharp, as they say, player rating review. Um, it was always going to be that way, considering how I'm feeling at the moment and the fact that the game is concluded and I'm not feeling any better. Um, so, an immediate post-game reaction is always interesting because, you have the emotions straight after the game. Don't really give yourself a second to calm down and sort of debrief and take in the game in full. Maybe, you watch it back or, you know, you, um, you sort of reflect on it in a different way once you've fully calmed down. Um, but yeah, I mean, this one I'm going to start pretty much do straight from the hip. Like I said, short and sharp. Um, Immediately after the game so you can sort of get that raw reaction. And where I'm at with it is that this was quite a disgrace of a performance, if we're being honest. Possibly our worst performance of the season, worst result of the season for sure when you consider this is top versus bottom in the Premier League. Um, this is Arsenal Football Club who's supposed to be challenging for a title against a dead and buried lonely Wolves side. And we managed to give them two goals after leading 2-0 and managed to allow them back into the game. Um, you know, I think it's more than they deserve, considering the fact that we didn't play well at all. And I'm not giving anybody any grace. It was a piss poor performance, and I think it's one that's going to be the beginning of the end potentially in our pursuit of the title. This one's going to cost us, and it's going to cost us bad. And I think we're going to see, unfortunately, um, maybe the beginning of the end for our title hopes from here. An honest assessment. We've been here before. We know what's chasing us. We know who's chasing us. And games like this, you simply cannot drop points from winning positions against bottom of the league. Um, I think it's as simple as that. You know, um, yeah. I mean, what else is there to say? Shit game, shit performance, shit all around, and just a forewarning that the player ratings is going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be brutal. Um, you know, I am sort of, maybe I sound calm because of my congested nose or my nasally nose, so to speak. Um, but this could easily be me, ranting and raving inside internally, shouting and you can imagine the internal emotions that are going through me at the moment. Um, as I try and collect myself after that nonsense of a performance. So listen, we'll get into it quickly. Player ratings, David Raya, one. I'm giving him a one. I'm watching my eyes. My eyes are bleeding at the moment watching the team play, and it starts from the back. It starts from a shit, um, sort of panicky moment, from David Raya, particularly right, particularly with their second goal. What was the second goal that went down as a Calafiori own goal, the equalizer essentially. Where's the communication piece between Raya and Gabriel? Gabriel comes out to try and head the ball in the air. David Raya also comes out and tries to claim it. And like none of between the two of them, they just can't figure out the communication piece. Um, and therefore the ball drops loose, and then we know what else happens from there. I mean, I can't believe it. I'm still kind of in shock, so forgive me, people. Bear with me. I'm still stunned, to be honest with you. Um, Other than that, David Raya again. I'm not liking how he's sort of rushing his distribution from open play at times. There's times where, ball's in play, he'll catch the ball, he'll collect the ball, whether it's in the air or on the ground, and he looks to distribute quickly to try and play us on a quick break. But that has not worked of late. He tried to do it particularly in the second half, late in the second half, to try and free up Jesus. And I was just fuming with that because, again, Jesus had no one else around him. He didn't have any support, and he's not the quickest of players. So even when he gets that ball under control, Jesus, what the hell is he meant to do with that ball? When there's no one else in way of support with him, up alongside him, or in and around him, And again, he doesn't have the pace to get away. David Raya just collects the ball, rushes it out to him from a drop kick, And what is he going to do with that? There's literally nothing on there. Sometimes just relax, take your time. There's no need to panic. Um, and just settle the game and settle the nerves. So the rush from the back from him, I noticed in the last couple of games, like, we don't always need to play out quickly. In the Brentford game, he did it with Declan Rice. Play the ball out to him quickly when Declan Rice is clearly under pressure. And that ball wasn't on. Sometimes just settle it. You don't always need to play so quickly. Just settle the ball down and relax. You're an experienced guy. Joke, man. It's a joke. Um, Yurian Timber, probably the worst game I've seen him play. Probably a one as well. He's lucky he even gets that from me. You know, he's been pretty poor for the last couple of games, hasn't been at his best. Urian Timber, in my opinion, losing the ball easily today, giving the ball away. A lot of the times we're playing him in this weird position high up the pitch. In this Arteta system, and we're going to get onto him. I have a lot to say about Arteta, as some of you who've been with me for a while may know. Not his biggest fan, but I've been letting him play out this season to see if he can get us over the line, and I'll reserve judgment from then. But boy, if he better get over the line in one of the majors, because if he doesn't, those Arteta enthusiasts are going to hear from me again. But anyways, that's besides the point. Yuri and Timber, the role we have him playing in at the moment, high up the pitch, unorthodox style fullback. Sometimes even more further forward than some of our actual wingers or attacking players. Um, is Urian Timber. I don't understand it. It hasn't particularly worked very well, especially because Urian Timber isn't the best attacking fullback. We all know he's a solid one-on-one defender. He's great as an actual out-and-out defender, but going forward, there's still question marks around him. Um, but yeah, today, I mean, just get high up the pitch, but out of position many times. Looks sort of lost in that you know, high position up the pitch. Looks lost. Again, didn't connect well with any of our forward players. Gave the ball away one too many times. One for Timber. Saliba looked a little bit nervy today. I don't know what's going on with him lately. He looks a little bit, eager, a little bit too eager sometimes, wrestling with the striker, pulling them back when he gets turned. He's been looking a little bit suspect for me of late, Saliba. Um, trying to think, like, were any of the goals particularly his fault? Not really. But still, you can see two goals. You're part of that back four. I'm in a bad mood. Saliba gets a three for me. Gabriel, good assist. But again, mix up on the goal with David Raya on the second goal. So which for me is inexcusable at this level. We're looking at you to be our figurehead, our leader, our captain who's going to help us see out this game and keep a calm, level head. Had a mix up again, at the back with Raya. I believe there was a similar mix up between the pair of them against Sunderland away when Robbie scored the equalizer late in that game as well. And again, we're 2-0 up, and then, just give up two easy goals, two shitty goals. To be fair, their first goal was good, but can he be closed down better? Can we, that's another long range effort from outside our box that we're conceding from, not the first time. Um, yeah, overall, it just could be better. Should have been better. Should have easily seen out that game. Again, top versus bottom. We're in a title race. You can see two goals is poor. You got an assist. It was a brilliant assist, but not good enough. At the end of the day, I give Gabriel a four. He's part of that back line who concedes two, and it is part of the mix-up for the second goal that they score. Two, sorry, the second goal that they score, which therefore his overall rating for me, like I said, nice assist, so that boosts you up a little bit. I think I give him a four overall, Gabriel. I'm just not in a good mood. So Hincapié, I think he was the best of a bad bunch in the back four. He again maybe he could have done better to close down for their first goal. That guy cuts in on his left foot, puts it in the top corner over David Raya. That's Hincapié's side because you have done more to close that down. Again, you scored a good goal, but more could have been done potentially on their first goal. So standard five. I'll give Hincapié standard five. Took his goal well, but that's about it. Zubimendi, another game where the game bypassed him and passed him by. Was he even playing? Did he even do anything? I mean, yeah, he did. He had a couple clearances and a couple breaks of play, but I mean, you're mostly in the team to dictate and drive us forward. Again, it just felt like it was another game that passed Zubimendi by. Give him a standard five. Declan Rice got an assist. for Saka's goal. And from there, the game was looking good at the start. And I'm still baffled, man. I'm sorry. I'm still baffled. We scored in the first couple minutes of the game, and you're from then you're thinking, go on, push on. This is it. We're gonna beat these by two, three, four tonight. Declan Rice gets the assist. And that was all he did really for the rest of the game. Um, Not much else was on for him. Um, yeah, I think in the midfield, he bypassed him, tried, maybe huffed and puffed a little bit, but not too much was going in the way of success. And through him and through our midfield generally. So maybe I also give him, I'm gonna bring Zubimendi down to a four because I can't give Declan Rice any higher than a five. So Declan Rice gets a five, and he got the assist as well. So that's what gives him a five. So Zubimendi four, Declan Rice five. Saka started well. Did Saka. Um, Looked okay in that 10 role, but I think overall, generally, we didn't have enough creativity on the pitch. Saka's playing a little bit of a foreign position to him, and you would think it would work against bottom of the table Wolves. But it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't to be in the end. So when you look at it, and we didn't win the game. Yes, he did. He had his contributions, but it faded quite quickly, especially in the second half. Scored early, but that's about it. I'm not sure that's the way forward, going forward. Especially like I said, we need more creativity. Um, but he did okay. Saka, like I said, faded in the second half, but got the early important goal, and it was a good goal. Um, I'm going to give Saka a six. Martinelli, not a Premier League level winger for a team contending for a title. It's as simple as that. I don't give a shit. I don't care about this cup form nonsense. In the Premier League, we need you. Defense is set up against you differently week in week out in the Premier League. Um, the defenses generally in the Premier League are much better, right? They're much better than what we see, when you're playing Wigan in the FA Cup, with all due respect. Martinelli just hasn't done it at a good enough level in the Premier League over the last couple of seasons now, and uncomfortable conversations need to be had. I'd be moving on from him, honestly, in the summer. We're trying to compete for top honors. He's not the one. Martinelli. To start week in, week out, left wing for Arsenal Football Club? No, get out. No, sorry. One for Martinelli. Madueke didn't really have a great game. Again, got on the ball in the first half, huffed and puffed, tried to beat his man a few times. He had a couple good touches, had a couple good. He'll always beat his man, more often than not. Will Madueke. He'll take him on and get past them. He's good at that. We always say that's the best attribute. One on one, he doesn't really give defenders a moment's rest, but not much else really happened from him. So did try and take guys on, but nothing. Five for Madueke. Gyökeres, one, did fuck all in the game. Honestly, a part of my language, but this is just yeah, it's not acceptable. Not acceptable. There's not much more to be said about him. Gyökeres gets a one. Guys off the bench. Jesus, Jesus and Eze, I think were the first subs off the bench, if I'm not mistaken. Um, did nothing. Neither of them. Meant to change the game. Eze, you're supposed to come on and take your chance again. Like Wigan. It's all good and well doing it at the Emirates on a sunny day at the Emirates against Wigan at home. Um, but yeah, no, this is the Premier League again, and when we need you to step up, lost, lost, nowhere to be found. Jesus the same again. He's not for me. He's just not on the level either. It's time to move on from him in the summer. When he first came back, it was a nice little boost. Um, to have another fresh player back from injury and like, shiny new toy syndrome and all that nonsense. But no, Jesus, it's time over time now. You're just not of the level anymore. You're not the number nine that we need to push us forward. Thanks for the memory. It's time to go. Jesus, um, one as a one as well, by the way, if I didn't rate him. Trossard comes in, Saka goes out. I believe that was the substitution. Trossard in, Saka out. Trossard is lately he's weird, man. He's a mood player, he's a moments player. Trossard, he's best from the start, I would say. Right now, Trossard. And if he's not starting, um, yeah, I mean if Trossard isn't starting at the moment, his contribution when he comes off the bench is maybe because he thinks that he should be starting, or he deserves to be starting, so maybe he's moody when he comes off the bench and he just doesn't get into the game. But Trossard didn't really do much. Ended up going off with, I don't know, an injury. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Um, yeah, so I mean, what can I even rate him at all? Again, I'm in a bad mood. One. I'm just gonna give him a one. Usually I say standard five, but he didn't really do anything. He tried to, maybe he got involved in winding up a few players. Not much was going on for Trossard. Like I said, best from the start, probably. And he's the only one in my starting 11 prediction that I got wrong, actually. Um, but yeah, so I was surprised Martinelli started. Shouldn't start a Premier League game ever again for Arsenal. For the rest of the season, let's start there. But I think Martinelli should be sold in the summer anyways. So technically, I stand on what I say. Martinelli shouldn't be starting week in, week out in the Premier League. If we're in a title race, get Martinelli out. Nowhere near the starting 11. Therefore, has to be Trossard. Trossard should have started the game. I said that beforehand. I thought he was going to. I'm shocked that he didn't, and I didn't think, it was best for him to come off the bench in this game. It didn't seem like, again, he's more of a starting role player at the moment. His bench influence, I'm also sure because, like I said, sometimes he takes a while to get into the game. He's a moody moments player, Trossard. So maybe he felt hard done by. But nonetheless, one. Calafiori was the fourth sub. We didn't use five in this game. We used four again, which is shocking. Shows lack of tactical sort of flexibility really from the manager. But Calafiori came on in the 90th. Didn't really do much. Conceded the own goal. A little bit harsh. Um, yeah. Um, what do I give Calafiori? Concedes an own goal. You get a one. You know, not his fault, but again, I'm not here for sentiments. We're in a bad mood. We're in a bad mood, people. Yeah, but other than that, Calafiori doesn't do anything else. He scored the goal here to win it for us last season, and this season he concedes an own goal to equalize or have Wolves equalize. And again, not his fault really. He didn't have much to do, but concede a goal to tie it 2-2 for them after we're in a winning position. Yeah, and it is what it is. Again, not necessarily his fault, but you know, I'm out here to be a nice guy at the moment. Yeah. What else can I say? The manager's rating. Manager gets a one. The football that we've been playing for the last few games, since the turn of the year, um, stumbling over the line in the Premier League games, and I'm talking strictly Premier League, but stumbling over the line in Premier League games, whether it's getting a point or a draw. We've seen poor performances um, against Man United at the Emirates, right? With a standout one. Um, Nottingham Forest away, 0-0. We blanked that one. Brentford wasn't great. Easily could have and should have lost that one probably. And this one today, I'm sorry. This one probably above, considering what's on the line and what's at stake for us, a chance to go 7 points clear and put some scoreboard pressure on City. Considering they're bottom of the table, this is the worst performance of the season, and it's consistent with what we've been seeing since the turn of the year, as I said. Just not good enough. No urgency, no penetration, not acting like a team who wants to win the Premier League. Just dull, lethargic, passive or football. Or like I felt like I was watching two relegation sides out there today. Honestly, like nothing was going off for us. Nothing was connecting. No patterns of play. No direct, penetration, positivity in the final third. It just lacked everything. We just looked like a side going through the motions. It was worrying. I don't understand it. Um, and again, this is down to the manager, man. I'm sorry. All these attacking players all of a sudden can't play football. Our system looks broken. It's not working. We're not, like I said, we're not picking up the points that we need. We're not maximizing points. Um, we're not performing. The performance does not look good on the eye test. So what does that say about our system? Not getting the best out of our attacking players. All of our attacking players today, like I said, their ratings were all poor because they weren't none of them were involved in the game. Martinelli, Madueke, Gyökeres, Saka was the only one that can maybe come out with his head held a little bit high, but again, like, nothing. We're just not fluent like we know Arsenal sides of old to be fluent. It's far from it. And this goes down to Arteta's system. I'm sorry. And he can't. I said this in the group chat to the guys. If he gets us over the line and we win majors playing this way and this style, sure. Um, we have to accept it because he won trophies. But if you're not going to get over the line and we're playing this way, something's got to change. He's been here too long but no one can say we don't have the squad and the players, the money spent. Um, but we're too relaxed. We go a goal up, two goals up. We don't kill games. We don't kill games at all. He thinks that we won the game after what 1-0 in the first minute. This is the Premier League, man. Fix up. The hell are we doing? This controlled style of nonsense football. It's not working. It's really, really not working. And I'm gonna end it on that. Mikel Arteta gets a one. Um, and I'm being kind. Anyways, people, it's been a positive, most of the season has been positive for us in terms of where we are. I will try and turn the negative into a positive. At this moment in time, we're still in all comps, so we're still competing. Um, but it's not looking very good. From a Premier League strictly perspective, which is the one that we need and want to cement Arteta's position and job in this club and his status. This is the one that we need, the Premier League. And if we're talking strictly Premier League at the moment, there's major alarm bells. This team and these group of players are going to have to stand up and be counted because one way or another, somebody's going to get exposed. Our heads are going to roll at the end of the season if things don't go positively for us. And when I say positively, I mean winning the Premier League trophy from the position that we're in, first place, top of the league for however many months now. Points gap, being what it was and has been. If we do not win it from here on out, people are going to be getting exposed left, right, and center, and it starts with the manager. And from that, I will leave it there and leave you there. Onwards and upwards. We have a North London Derby to look forward to on Sunday, so we can't have too much time to feel sorry for ourselves. Um, and we will, be dropping more content in and around that when that time comes. But until then, people, please continue to like, share, and subscribe for us. It really, really does help out the channel. We're not always going to get positive results, unfortunately. So some of these fan cams, player post-game reactions are going to be, a little bit more passionate, let's say. So we're just here to keep it real and tell it how it is and be honest with y'all. So without further ado, people, like I said, hit that like and subscribe, and we'll be back, with more content for you, as early as tomorrow. Um, we'll be back with Laurent and Murdad with a full podcast out, and I'm sure we'll be dissecting this more and looking to what's ahead. So, yeah, thanks again, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.